Hey, Septic here. As we live our lives, we all develop interests and hobbies to fill our free time and prevent boredom. However, I've noticed a growing trend on the internet and social media, and that is people increasingly showcasing their interests for the sake of appearances. This performative display extends to online behavior to interactions in real life, shaping how we present ourselves and our hobbies to others. And I kinda just wanted to talk about why that's so fucking stupid. So what do I mean by performative behavior? In the context of this video, performing refers to when people display interests, hobbies, or behaviors mainly to impress others or to appear unique, rather than from a genuine enjoyment. This is especially really common in fan communities like those for music, anime, video games, where individuals may flaunt niche tastes to stand out. For instance, I've noticed in a lot of anime communities, people often highlight their quote-unquote distinctive anime preferences, where they'll flaunt off their My Anime lists or their charts in order to seem cool or unique to other fucking losers online. My notable case for this would be shows like Neon Genesis Evangelion and Serial Experiments Lane. These are popular choices to showcase because the trend I've particularly have noticed, especially with Serial Experiments Lane, are people who supposedly watch the show. Not even to bring up how shit of a show it is. These shows have a flannerization in the way they're presented and exaggerations/simplifications of the source material, or the way that these new performative fans enjoy the media, because most of the time they don't even watch or read the source material and base their understanding on video essays or memes they find. They're performing off of flannerization and interpretation that becomes flannerization. Getting my big boy words out of the way, these performative people don't have a genuine care for the source material they've came to quote-unquote enjoy or like. They just enjoy the idea of it and they enjoy the aesthetic of it. I feel like this trend is more noticeable on platforms such as TikTok, Discord, and Reddit because it's easier to quote-unquote flaunt the stuff you like in order to seem cool because you get interactions from it, especially on Instagram and TikTok. Azumanga Daioh, a slice-of-life anime that I enjoy very much, has seen this trend during 2020 and onwards of this massive resurgence within apps like TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit, and overnight went from a mostly otaku fanbase to have starting the same fate as like an anime like Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's become a joke among the people who actually watch the show and the source material, or better yet, have read the fucking manga. Most Azumanga fans don't even really care for the show, and you can tell a lot of them haven't even seen the first episode. And more especially in the case of Azumanga, due to its performative crowd the show has taken, it seems they make up most of the fans. They all make the same fucking annoying jokes, and worst part of it all, to me, starts to become monetary, and people start to sell to this performative crowd. While all of this is extremely annoying and overly stupid, it becomes a grift and starts to take away from people who genuinely enjoy this stuff, and it's very frustrating. And a person I've noticed who does this is Opium Osaka. That dude is so fucking unfunny. I'm gonna try not to like go off on a tangent. The dude's a fucking retard. And don't even get me fucking started on music, because grifting and performing are far more common within these scenes. They even shape the scenes and communities you're in. It's almost as if you can't escape any of this. Extreme music and music overall in general has had this biggest issue of performing, especially in metal and music. The issue of performing is such a concern that we have entire channels on the sole issue of posers, whole communities and places of discourse just for this issue. They are in almost every aspect of these communities. Something I kind of want to get out of the way, what makes someone performative and a poser? I know we kind of talked about this before, but I wanted to kind of bring this up. Well, it's very simple. It's when you act like if you like the things for aesthetic or for whatever reason that might be. The ironic part is these people are usually looked down upon by the interest that they're posing upon. The posers look down on the people who are actually into the things they're posing. People start to act as if they like these bands and music, but in reality they really don't. Now, liking something that is surface level and only enjoying that doesn't make you a poser. You are only a poser if you claim to like other things you don't like. Or in an example, if you claim to be this big metalhead and only choose to listen to a select few artists and only stay stuck in that, are you really a metalhead? If you continue just listening to fucking shitty new metal and say, oh, I'm such a big metalhead, I'm sorry dude, you're a fucking poser. Why do people pose these interests? It's very simple. Because it makes you unique or interesting. Only on the surface level, but go deeper and you're this weird autistic chud. I know this is a lie. If you are really into moe anime, or you really do like anime that isn't just surface level animes or like the unique animes that people pose upon, you are fucking weird. Oh, you like K-On! Oh, you like Hitomari Sketch? Oh, you like Welcome to the NHK? You like DG Chart? Nah, dude, you're a fucking chud. Watch some Serial Experiments Lane, you chud. But the point stands, you go deeper into the interests you like, you're seen as weird and autistic. And you very well could be, but once these performative fans see that people who are genuinely into the material, they claim gatekeeping when they get mad, or call the people who are actually in the material weird or chuds. I love that word, chud. And it starts to begin this polarization in these communities. But why are these people even daring to pose such a simple aesthetic and look? And I mean, that's kind of why we always get these massive performative LARPs. People love having the cute anime girl as their profile picture, the cool edgy artwork of an album, and love to represent it. Simply, it makes us seem unique in a pool of everything being the same. So instead of being your genuine self, you mask and copy the interests, hobbies, and actions of others to be cool, unique, even if it really isn't cool and unique. And in a way, you become your own conformity with all the other posers because you're all posting the same shit. And all communities go through this issue, whether it be from anime to music to fashion, whatever, they all go through this. The last thing I'll say about the whole performative LARP and more of the rise, funny enough, comes to a certain section of the internet I've seen and really enjoy, kind of. That of the old internet and old YouTube LARP. This video has so far been talking about people who perform for stuff what they are not. For context, I didn't grow up with old YouTube, nor did I grow up with the old internet, or at the very least not the height of it during 2003 to 2010. I got to enjoy the web sometime around 2014 and onward in bits and pieces. There doesn't exist a certain of indiness that Gen Z has for this era of the web, but there exists this need to LARP from an era, from a lot of people, hell, even me a couple of years ago, and even to a certain extent now, to replicate this old style. And the issue that exists is we see a LARP and we want to perform for this era without a true understanding to that era. The best we can do now is, in my opinion, is to create the framework and sites and communities those old communities used to have. But this being said, if you go to the average old YouTube revival content site, they all have this flannerization of what they think the old internet was. And that's pretty stupid and gay. People are so caught up in the whole LARP overall, where it's just solely for the sake of looks. And brought up before, what begins to happen with this performative LARP is people start to force their values and wants onto things they don't understand. Moral fagging is a double-edged sword, but the problem within it in this context is people force themselves into these communities and interests and have this idea of what's weird and what's not weird, and force a community to change over time. When more of these people join, this can kind of be seen a lot with the juxtaposition of Vidly and BitView, two websites that exist to replicate an older community and interests, with Vidly allowing far more greater freedoms and keeping the framework, while BitView having this moral fagging problem and shows the overall performance of the old internet. And most of the people there are only there for the epic old internet, hence why the site has the same fucking Linkin Park AMVs. This video isn't about what the old internet really was, I can't speak on that, but this is a video about why performing something for the aesthetic of something is fucking gay and retarded. And the reason it works for Vidly is because people aren't just sticking to the old internet, they want to work within the framework of the old internet and make something unique within that. But online you can see nothing but people who LARP. Even politically exists LARPing, fake genuineness. I believe this is a huge problem in the internet in general in real life. No one is genuine, and the people who seem to be just are less and less these days. Why do you think there exists such an oversaturation in the content we watch, and whatever that be on YouTube and movies, on Twitter and other websites and whatnot? Everyone is copying the thoughts of the loser they heard it from. The white people waiting for the Moist Critical video for their opinion is not even a fucking meme at times. People really do base their thoughts of other people without thinking for themselves. I don't care why that is nor the psychology behind it, all I know is it's gay and it's a fucking cancer onto the internet. And not all LARPing is bad, because we can create these environments without it being a LARP. Yes, very much. I think sites like Vidly do a better job at this, and sites like BidView show the most of the performative LARP we see today and online in general. But LARPing and performing in the sense of looking cool, looking unique, trying to brand yourself as cooler or unique is fucking gay. And I think that was the biggest problem I had, and that's kind of the core issue of this video. Does this even matter? No, it really doesn't. In short, people will continue to pose off the things you like, and you will always have to deal with retards in any facet of life. But the reason people get mad, or especially what I get mad for, is that we care about the things we like. But I believe at the end of the day, we can still enjoy media while not letting the actions of retards get to us. And ultimately, that is how you should live. But at the end of the day, people who perform for the sake of aesthetic are fucking retards and need to stop and just be genuine.